and take a part in our worship. Let's join our voices together in praise. The first song, By the Spring of Life.
Marching to the blessing ground of Canaan with delight, we're leaving all our heavy burdens here. At last we are released, yes, free of sins to sing. We're coming to the blessing spring of life.
Please join us in prayer. Most beloved Heavenly Parent, we're truly grateful that we can all join together today in this place. As we just sang in the song, let's be His pride and delight, children of the living God. Heavenly Parent, every single moment, every single day, that should be our hope, our prayer, our song. So come join us today as we hear this message, as we offer this prayer in all our names. Amen. Adieu.
Adieu. Adieu. Let's go ahead to the choir of the Clifton Family Church. Thank you so much. All right, now you can all be seated. So, once again, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Love the energy here. So I hope you all had a wonderful week and are ready to start your week off with each other. Once again, my name is Preston Arthur, and I'll be your MC today. A few things on the agenda to recognize. First, let's give thanks to the Middlesex County volunteers. So they're the ones who greeted you up in the front, are setting everything up so we can have an incredible experience today. And also, at any point in time, if you would like to offer your tithe, I believe there's a QR code at the back of the sheet. So at any point in time, you can just scan that, and that's one way you can set up your tithing. Other than that, during the closing song, we'll have the baskets up in the front. So without further ado, we're going to go to our gratitude share. So please turn your head to the person next to you and share your gratitudes for today. Anything from this past week, anything you're grateful for, feel free to share. And then we'll hear from someone at the very end. So take a minute to turn, find someone if you're not next to anyone. I know there are a lot of empty spaces, but just find someone to share with. end, but that's what fellowship is for. That's what fellowship is for. That's what fellowship is for. So right now, just to hear some gratitudes, we have next to me Bruce Burns. Bruce Burns.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. I think you know what I'm going to say I'm grateful for. And she's sitting right next to me, Yoko. But somebody who's not here, I'm grateful for too. And I'm grateful for he's in Australia with his family. Dr. Young, I'm very happy he's with his family. Aju.
Thank you, Bruce. Now, for anyone that don't know yet, Dr. Young is currently in Australia with his family, and we can expect Mrs. Young to come back with him, so we might have to leave an extra space there for Miss Young and Dr. Young when they come back to America. So with that, before we go on to our main message, which is kind of exclusive, I'm very excited for it. I'd like to invite up the choir one more time to sort of set the stage for it with the song Higher Ground. Can we all stand up? Family Church Choir, you may all be seated. Okay, so many or many of you may or may not know, but today is the 5th Sunday of the month. Oh, good to see you. The 5th Sunday of the month, we had kind of a rotation of topics to talk about throughout the months, but today happens to be the 5th, so we had to get a little bit creative about this Sunday, about 2-3 weeks ago, and the topic for today is about we're talking about the building fund about a month ago. So today it's going to be tied into tithing, the importance of tithing. Now, Kimi has shared about this on National Family Service before. And to sort of celebrate all of this, I think we'll do something a little bit more grand at the end of the year. But to talk on this topic, and we'll hear a few testimonies from you as well, I'd like to welcome up our pastor of the Clifton Family Church, Naokimi Ushiroda.
All right, good morning, everyone. All right, this is one of my favorite topics. Why tithe? That may not have been what you were looking forward to this morning, but it's going to be insightful. And it's a good refresher as well. And I think after listening to this message, I hope that you will get some new insights into the importance of tithing and what it can do for your life. So today I wanted to go over 3 main points in terms of why tithing. First is the basics about what is a tithe and what are the basic rules around that. The spiritual significance of tithing and the benefits. Yes, there are benefits to tithing. And I like to expand because it's not just about sacrifice. I do believe there are some spiritual and practical benefits to offering your tithe. Okay? And don't worry, for those who are already tithing, it's always a good refresher, and there's going to be a challenge at the end. Even for those who are tithing, there's something more that you can also do. Okay, let's start with the basics of tithing. Actually, maybe before I get into the sermon, I just want to say I am grateful. We had a chance to have a sharing on gratitude this morning, so I'm grateful, as Bruce mentioned, that Dr. Yong is with his family in Australia, mainly because I have more time with my family as well in America. So double gratitude there. And yesterday I had the chance to go to, actually we had a whole bunch of stuff yesterday, but 2 meetings in the morning, a meeting in the evening, and then 3 events during the day. But the first one was a luncheon, the event. We had a luncheon at the Passaic County community, so that was really fun. And then we were at Bob's house, Bob Mansour. He hosted us, and about 23 of us were there to just check in with each other. And then right after that, there was a Filipino Parents' Day event that I kind of quickly drove down to. It was the first time I just walked in, gave a speech, walked out, and went to the next event. So I felt like a senator or a VIP or something, you know. But I gave a message about Family Federation's really endorsement of Parents' Day and marriage and so on and so forth. So then I whisked away to Bridgeport, Connecticut. We had a farewell ceremony for our pastor there, Mika Deshotel, and her family. So we had a beautiful celebration, again, appreciation from the congregation, and right now there's a trinity of pastors who are interim pastors during this transition. So that happened, and then on the way back, a few more meetings, but it was a busy day. But today, I am grateful, at least after service, I have the rest of the day off. So I'm grateful. Okay, now back to tithing, basics of tithing. So how much do you offer in a tithe? Any guesses? 10%. Well, let's see what the dictionary says. Oh, tithe, a tenth of annual produce or earnings to support the priesthood. Interesting. Ask for a dictionary. And this is from the Bible, Leviticus 27:30. A tithe of everything from the land, whether grain from the soil or fruit from the trees, belongs to the Lord. It is holy to the Lord. Actually, the concept of tithing comes from the Old Testament. It was a basic process, I think, practical solution to how do you support the priesthood. So the members of that time would offer a tenth of their earnings to support the priesthood so that they can survive as well. Okay, next, basic as you know, how about what attitude with which we should tithe? Joyfully. Wow, that's an advanced attitude. There are a few other attitudes like obligatory attitude. I have to, right? Or skeptical attitude. Wonder what these funds are going to be used for. Reluctant attitude. Oh, I have no money. How can I give 10% of my money that I don't have? Well, the thing is, fortunately, it's a percentage. So if you really have no income, 10% of 0 is 0. Good. So if you don't have any income, then yeah. I guess in that case, how would you measure if you're actually tithing? I guess you have to make some income in order to be able to offer a tithe. So this is for the poor students out there. If you can have enough money to buy Starbucks, then you have money enough to tithe, okay? Okay, now here are some more biblical verses which I think is useful. He who sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and he who sows bountifully will also reap bountifully. Each one must do as he has made up his mind, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. It's a great verse. So as was mentioned earlier from the congregation, really the attitude of tithing should be joyful. Joyful. God loves a cheerful giver. 2 Corinthians 9:6-7. Okay, next basic on tithing. For what purpose should we offer our tithe? Let's read. This is from Father Moon. Return a portion of what you earn to God as a tithe. Give 1/10 to the local church, 1/10 to the national level work, and 1/10 for the worldwide level. 3/10 in all. Wow. So Father Moon is talking about not just 10%, but 30%. 10 for the local, 10 for the national, 10 for the world. So the main point here, though, is not asking for more money from you guys. It's just the concept of offering not just for the local priesthood, which is local, but really having this mindset, how can we offer and support the nation, our nation, or the world? Now, you could argue that, I'm already paying taxes to the nation. And it's true. They take, 20 to 30% already? So that, in one sense, yes, I get it. So that's kind of supporting the nation. But the main thing of the spiritual meaning, which we'll get into more later, is that you're contributing to God's work. So it's a chance for you to support the local God's work locally, nationally, and globally by offering different levels of tithe. In addition, all citizens of Cheongguk will provide funds for the well-being and peace of humanity, not by taxation, but by voluntary contributions. They will demonstrate the model of offering the first 3/10 of their income for public purposes. This cannot be an imposed tax. It has to be a gift that citizens offer willingly to heaven with joyful hearts. So again, Father Moon is really emphasizing here that the attitude of giving and the purpose is really joyfully as citizens of this nation. Okay, so those are the basics of tithing. I want to now go into the spiritual significance of tithing. A tithe means that by offering 1/10 of your material possessions to God, you make a condition equal to having offered all you have. Although you do not offer everything to God, the 1/10 that you offer with sincere devotion nevertheless holds that value. So the verse here is basically saying that when you offer a tithe, 10%, right, it actually represents offering your whole kind of substance that you have. So 10% offering to God is representative of the whole. By offering 1/10 as holy, God considers the remaining 9/10 holy. Okay, good deal. Offer 10%, God makes everything holy. So that's basically the spiritual concept with tithing. Also, I don't know if you remember, in one of Dr. Yong's morning devotions, he used to say that tithing is like, what was it? Prepaid insurance. Prepaid indemnity condition or something like that, where you're actually, this goes into more of the benefits, but anyway, point is, by offering your tithe, you get certain kind of spiritual protection over everything that you have. Let's read further. You must invest devotion in your tithe. This is the essence of faith. Offering your tithe casually is not acceptable. Your offering represents your own life, so you have to offer what is most precious to you. So here, I think the main point is when you do offer your tithe, it's really not just money. The money represents your hard-earned sweat, maybe tears, hopefully not blood, but really your investment into earning those funds, right? So when you offer that tithe to the church or to a cause, you're offering all of that devotion together with it. The most precious thing to a human being is his or her life. Hence, the sacrificial offering should be made as if you were offering your own life. So again, Father is really emphasizing here the heart of offering when you give your tithe. The purpose of tithing is to secure not the tithe, but the tither, not the gift, but the giver, not the possession, but the possessor, not your money, but you for God. I really like this quote because it really captures the essence of tithing, is that by offering 10%, you are really offering yourself, your heart, your soul. It's almost like, actually what this reminds me of is the one way to secure that you're not dominated by material things is that you're able to give it. And by offering a tithe, it shows that you're not dominated by money because you're willing to offer it. And so by making that condition of offering 10%, you are actually protecting your spirit. You're showing that you're not attached to the money, but you're willing to offer it. And that's really the spiritual practice, is that you're able to give what you're earning rather than keeping it just for yourself. Does that make sense? So tithing is a protection of your spirit. It's to secure the tither, the giver, the possessor. Not about the money, it's about securing your heart and your attitude of giving. Okay, this is my favorite part, benefits of tithing. So, we covered some basics, we went to the spiritual significance of tithing. Now, what are the benefits of tithing? Let's read. The person who tithes will never perish. As the days go by, his storeroom will be filled with abundant material blessings. If you tithe with sincere devotion, you will never starve to death. Your descendants will never suffer for want of material things. So, anyway, I've been to many different kinds of seminars. I was also in my journey here. I've been doing many kind of side hustles and different things like that. And it was interesting because when I went to other organizations and companies that were really empowering people with their own wealth, one of the concepts that many of those companies gave was this concept of offering 10%. Not necessarily just to a church, but just offering a percentage of your earnings for a higher purpose. And a lot of the successful people practice this principle of offering a percentage of their earnings. Because what it does is that it's a spiritual practice, but it's like karma. The more you give, the more you receive. It's universal principles being applied. And so those who commit to giving a certain percentage off of their earnings naturally receive back in abundance. Also, the mindset of a person who's able to give has a more abundant mindset. And so naturally that also attracts abundance in your life. So we're going to go over a few different types of benefits: psychological, social benefits. The main psychological benefit of tithing, I believe, is a sense of peace. That, you offered your tithe and you feel like, I guess it's kind of like, I did my duty, part of it, but also this spiritual insurance. Is that I know that everything I offered is really protected by God because of the tithe that I offered. So there is this sense of peace. There's also social benefits for tithing. Let's read. More important than how much money is in a wallet is the question of how it is spent. The path of one's money shapes one's fate. According to God's word, our responsibility is to have dominion of love over all things and to share our prosperity. So this is people don't remember you by how much money you earned, but how much you've been able to give. So it's really a joy to be able to show that you've been able to make a difference by contributing to others. I mean, the whole area of philanthropy is about people being able to give their wealth for the sake of a public purpose. Let's read. As explained in Genesis, God made Adam and Eve and told them to be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and have dominion over all things. And finally, economic benefits of tithing. The more you give, the more you receive. God rewards total giving with total love and total sacrifice with total life. Giving creates room for God's love to enter. The more room and the greater the vacuum created by your giving, the faster you will be filled by the flow of God's love. So, again, money is a representation of your hard-earned effort, right? But the more you're able to give, the more it creates this vacuum where it can be filled with God's love in your life. So, So excuse me. One story I wanted to share about giving. Anyway, maybe one, actually there's several stories, but one story I like to share is, I have coined this concept of expanding your tithe. So for those who know about, offering your tithe, that's one thing, but expanding your tithe is about not necessarily giving more from the little that you have, but expanding what you have so that a tenth of that also increases. So about maybe 15 years ago, I remember I was we just had our first, we had 2 children at that time. We were having our second child, and just moved back to New York, Queens, where I grew up. And there was this special donation request that came all the way from headquarters. I forgot exactly what the event was, but they were asking all families to offer $1,000 for their kind of, an offering of devotion. And I really wanted to give, but the problem was we barely had enough income to pay the rent. It was kind of like, income was about $2,000 a month, but the rent was, was $1,200, and then with the food costs, another $300 with the... Anyway, point was we were functioning at a minus at that time. So to be able to offer $1,000 was a big deal, but it was also made a big deal in terms of the importance of this special donation. And so I really struggled, and then so I asked my wife, okay, so I want to offer this donation. She's like, are you crazy? Like, are you nuts? Do you see our bank account? Right, kind of like that. So I negotiated with her. I was like, okay, how about this? How about I offer $100 now, and if and when our income increases, then I would like to offer the balance of $900 off of a tithe of our increased income over the next year. She didn't understand fully what I was saying, but she's like, okay, 100, that's fine. So anyway, I made a desperate plea to God. I said, look, God, if you want me to offer more money, help me make more money. That's kind of what I said to God. Anyway, long story short, I did have a pretty strong determination, but it turned out that my wife was able to get a job. I also found a new role, and then there were, both of us received raises. So within a year, our income had increased to a point where a tithe off of that increase was enough to cover that the balance of $900, and I was able to make that offering of $900 with a clear conscience, with my wife's approval. That's the big thing, right? So the point is this: I want you to think, when offering, the whole point of a percentage versus a set amount is that you're encouraging spirit world to increase your income so that you can offer more. Does that make sense? Because we are subjects of the universe, right? Individual truth bodies having dominion over a physical world and spirit realm. So if I'm offering to 10% of my income for a public purpose, and if spirit world cares about that public purpose, then they're bound to support me if they want to offer more to that. That's only if you make that commitment to tithe, though. Does that make sense? If spirit world can trust that when you have that increased income, you're going to tithe off of that increased income, then they're going to support you in that increased income. So this is what I also want to encourage, is really this concept of expanding your tithe. Not giving off of the little that you have, but really being creative and thinking, how can I attract more abundance in my life so that I can also offer more? And I feel like that's a win-win, both personal and public, and that's how I've been really managing my tithing. Now, one other concept I would like to share is that when you offer a tithe, you have to calculate 10% of your earnings, which is not that hard to do, but it also forces you to manage the 90% that you have left. right? So it actually makes you more conscious of budgeting the resources that you have. And I think this is also a very healthy practice. Part of the third blessing, which is having dominion over all things, you need to have control and manage the funds that you have. If you become good at managing your funds, then naturally it will also increase as well. So I really feel like the tithing, from a practical point of view, can also help you in your financial management. That's kind of my part of the reason why I like the concept of tithing, is because there's also some very logical, practical parts of it, and again, that may not be what you were looking forward to this morning, but this is part of who I am and what I have to offer you guys at this time. Okay, so summary, some tithing basics. Number one, it's 10%. Tithe, by definition, is 10%. I remember talking to some young adults, and they're like, oh yeah, I tithe. Oh really? Oh, that's surprising. So how much do you, I'm curious, how much do you offer? Oh yeah, I offer $40 a month. That is not a tithe, unless you're only earning 400. I know this guy is earning 6 figures, so I was like, that's not a tithe. That's a donation, which is appreciated. But a tithe is about your commitment to offering everything to God, and the representation of that is 10%. And again, if you're not able to give that, then you're leaning towards having material wealth dominate you and control you. Does that make sense? Because it's not easy giving money, you know? I feel it too, every month. It's not easy. But when you do, you're showing that you're not object to the money. You're actually subject over the money when you're able to offer it 10%. Does that make sense? And some people say, okay, I'll give when I have money. Heard that before? Right? Well, when are you going to have enough money to give? Right? The more money you're earning, the harder it gets to give. So it's better to set the habit early and see what you can do. You know, if you can offer 10% and manage with the 90%, I'm telling you, you're going to be much more conscious of how you spend your money. So, anyway, offer 10%, that's a tithe. Now you can get creative in what 10% means, you know, before taxes, after taxes, you know, all those kind of things. But basically, whatever your conscience tells you, you can go with it, 10%. Joyfully giving. So getting to a space from obligatory to really joyfully giving. What I like to do is I like to track how much I give. And at the end of the year, I like to look at myself and say, yes, I was able to contribute this much to our community. And to feel pride and joy in being able to offer that amount. And challenge myself, okay, how can I offer more? That means I have to increase my income to be able to give more, but like to really think, how can I give more joyfully? And directly contributing to building God's kingdom, right? So your money is to offer to contribute to God's work. That includes, you know, your tithe supports this ministry, supports the pastor, supports all the Sunday school, the youth programs, the affiliate programs. All of that is based off of your contribution. And for those who are advanced, they can go for the 30%, 10% local, 10% national, 10% global. Some spiritual benefits or significance of tithing is that it really protects and holifies your all of your income, right? By offering 10%, it really holifies and protects 100% of your income. And it's an act of devotion, as well as it secures your heart towards God, where it's not dominated by money, but you're actually able to be subject over the money. Think of it like this. Another way to explain this is, You know, the key or the essence of the fall was self-centeredness, right? So how do you counter self-centeredness? It's actually through practicing giving. And again, the 10% in one sense seems small, right? 1/10 if you look at it. 9 coins, 1 coin. Oh, actually, I get to keep 90%. That's pretty good. But the point is, by being able to offer that 10%, you're securing your selflessness. It's a practice of selflessness when you offer 10%. Does that make sense? So it's a small price to pay to secure your soul. I'm telling you. So make it a habit, make it a practice, see how you can manage within the 90%, and you'll really benefit from that. And finally, the benefits of tithing is that it will give you a sense of peace, a sense of purpose, that your life is and your work is not just about paying the bills, but it's actually contributing to God's work. And if you think of it in the right way, tithing can also secure prosperity. I truly believe this, but it does require a mindset towards knowing that and challenging God in the spirit world, that if you want me to offer more, help me make more. And I've seen it work time and time again. And it also challenges you to utilize your creativity in terms of increasing your abundance. So I'd like to go into a reflection question and which actually the testimony givers will be having a chance to do that, but I'd like to ask you guys to reflect, why do you offer your tithe? Or if not, why not? So the clearer you are in why you are giving or why you're not giving, the more you can actually be self-aware and take it from there. So that's the reflection question. I want you to take a minute right now to, and if we can have background music, reflect on the question, why do you offer your tithe? Or if not, why not? 1 minute. Please reflect. For taking the time to reflect. So we're going to have a few people come and share. Choir comes next. Okay, so we're going to go into that in a moment. Thank you for the accompanying music. And I'm going to leave you with a challenge. So this is something that I like to do because, you know, it's nice coming to church and hearing a sermon, but the whole point of this is for your spiritual growth, right? So I want you to think about, what can I do this week to challenge myself to grow? So you guys ready for the challenge? Make a commitment to offer your tithe. That's challenge number 1. But if you're already tithing, encourage someone else to offer their tithe. And or, this is also exciting, think of how you can expand your tithe. Okay? So, if you haven't committed to tithing yet, make that commitment this week. If you're already tithing, encourage someone else you know to try out tithing. Or, challenge yourself to expand your tithe. How can I make more so I can offer more? So I want you to tap into that God-given creativity, which we all have. Because definitely, if what we're doing is God's work, then Spirit World is going to want to support us to raise more funds to be able to do more of God's work. Okay? So with that, just want to thank you. Have a great week, and we'll see you around. Take care, everyone.
All right, thank you, Naokimi. You know, when I first became Secretary General, this was in December 2020. One of the first things Naokimi said to me was he wants to tie to the sub-region. And back then, many of you may not know, the sub-regional funds were in dire straits. It was like $2,500 a month was our income. Right, and so if you compare that to all the churches within the sub-region, we were at the bottom fifth. But with that kind of commitment that he made, I determined to also do so. So I did so, and just this 1 year later, in January, one year and 1 month later, in January this year, our income increased all the way up to over 100,000 that month. Because of ingenious ways in which we created programs to raise the income for the community. So I strongly believe that through the condition that Naokimi set for the sub-region, we were able to see financial prosperity there. So just like to once again thank you. Let's give a hand to Naokimi for the message today. All right, with that, before we hear some testimonies to set the mood, we have our choir offering a musical offering.
Okay, so I'd like to introduce the music offering. This song is called The Flower That Shattered Stone, originally written by John Denver. He's a very famous American singer. Originally, this song had 2 verses, and then something released in early 1990s something. And then one of the Japanese singer, Minami Kotetsu, he so inspired this music. So he had to join collaboration with John. So he also write down one Japanese version. So we like to sing 3 verses. One is one is English, second one Japanese, and the third one English. So I hope you like it.
ているこの川の流れ山のりを今心の中に溶けてゆく子供たちの心に芽生えているその清らかな愛星が照らす Like the flower that shattered the stone
Sparrows find freedom, beholding the sun in the infinite beauty, where all journey one. I reach out before me and look to the sky. There's someone whisper, there's something that's wrong. As a river runs freely, the mountain must rise, and it touches my fingers, it seems my eyes. In the hearts of the children of your love still grows, like a bright star in heaven, the lights are waiting Lights are in heaven, the lights are waiting home. The flower will shatter the storm.
Wow, let's give a huge round of applause to our choir. All right, so now after hearing the message from President Naokimi on the importance and spiritual significance of tithing, we're going to hear from a few of you who have been consistently tithing and supporting this community. And so first up, we'd like to invite up one of the older second generation family of the Clifton Family Church, Do-hee Ang. There he is.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. So Pastor Aquino asked me to give my experience and any my reasons for tithing and also any good experiences. I don't have any good experiences. It's just giving money. But the reason why I tithe is it's a little bit of a journey. I started working right after college and never really tithed. As Pastor Naokimi defined, I didn't tithe for many, many years. I donated just what I felt like I could do. I've always kind of put my priority on taking care of my family and making sure that we had what we needed first. But over the years, I think that's definitely changed. There was a point where I made enough money where I said, okay, now I'm ready to start giving. When I reached that point, I also felt something here in Clifton. This morning, as I was one of the ushers greeting everybody, every time I see someone coming in, and I said good morning, I was so happy to see everyone. I have a deep gratitude and really a deep appreciation for everyone who comes through these doors not because necessarily you're the best person in the world. I don't even really know many of you personally, but I know that you're all trying. I know that we're all trying. And this is a community of triers. We're all trying to reach that ideal. And that is like Dr. Young said this morning on Morning Devotion, he said we have to build the kingdom of heaven on earth. And that's how we do it, is by trying, by not giving up, not giving in to society. And that over the years I've seen that. And when I first, maybe 10, 15 years ago, I did not want to donate because I didn't know where the money was going. I didn't know how it was being used, which is very common for second generation, I think. And then when I came to Clifton Church, from KEA, and Pastor Manoj was saying, here's what we want you to donate, but whatever you can give is fine. And because he said that, his attitude was really, give what you can, give what you feel like you can. That was really kind of my philosophy too. And for many years I did that. And then at one point someone asked me to be on the council. And I could see how that money was being used, and I could see where it was going and where it was coming from. And that gave me the confidence that, this is something I should really be doing. And I think that in addition to now when I give, I actually give thinking of people. I'm not giving a tithe to the church or to headquarters or whatever. I'm really giving it to the people who have really inspired me in this church. Also, I remember several years back, they announced everyone who gave $10,000, and I thought that was crazy. Anybody who did that was crazy. But I remember Chungham came up here, and I was like, oh, he's younger than me, but he's still doing it. And it made me think. And then we were talking a couple years ago in the council about getting a new church, which probably every council talks about. And I was talking, well, I know KA, everyone donated a lot of money. And then Mitchell told me, everyone here donated a lot of money to make this church, to build this church. So, over the years, I really felt like, it's not too much to give 10%. It's something that I actually want to help to build the kingdom of heaven. And this is, I know we need money because I've been on the council. I've seen that we have expenses. And I'm really inspired by a lot of the brothers and sisters here who help out so much, especially like Eriko-san. She really inspired me by the care she gave to my mom many times. And everyone I've seen on the council, and Etsuko-san really helped out a lot. It really inspires me when I see people helping out. So I want to help and be a part of that. That's why I tithe. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dohi. Yeah, I feel like we've all been there, in the start, being a donor, not necessarily a tither. I was there until Naokimi explained over, the first couple of months I went on a mentorship under him to really understand that this is for not just me, but it's for all of us. And just to mention, I feel like one of the reasons why, even as a sub-region, we were able to grow our finances was also the conditions set by international giving. So some of you may or may not know, but as a sub-region, we chose the country, the Philippines, to support financially and for a project. So right now, the money is going towards their international Peace Leadership Training Center. It's like their UTS. And Naokimi's recommendation was, as a sub-region, we offer a tithe. We offer a tithe off of our income to support them. And it was just 1 month after we started tithing to the Philippines to support their initiatives that our income went, in that particular month, went over 100,000. So I feel like there's a lot of significance and a lot of spiritual merit in giving. So yeah, thank you, Dohi, for sharing. Next, I'd like to call on one of our sisters of the community. I love her so much. She has been supporting the youth ministry for many, many years, and you all know, you all love her. Let's welcome up Ava Clark.
Yeah. First, I just want to thank everybody who surely gives more than I do, whether it's your money or your time or your effort or your hearts. So I got a text from Pastor Naokimi asking if I would give a testimony, and my first thought was I was going to text back all the reasons why I should not give this testimony. I do tithe, not an advanced tither, but I am a tither. And but then I thought, Pastor Takino asked, so just say yes. And then I thought, just this morning, I was just thinking, that's how it is with tithing, actually. Kind of just do it, And one scripture that Pastor Naokimi did not use, and if you've been in any Christian churches, you've heard this scripture, Malachi 3, and maybe you chose not to do it on purpose. That's the one that starts with, will a man rob God, But in that, but we did have scriptures up here, how the first 10% really belongs to God. And I do feel that. It's not my money. And also in that Malachi scripture, it talks about that I will pour out the blessings, open the windows of heaven and pour out the blessings, and also I will protect your, it's like cropland language, but basically protect your crops and make sure that your vines or whatever have a lot of fruit. And I really feel like one of the questions was, do you have a testimony? And I was thinking, well, I don't know what my life would be like if I didn't tithe, right? So I can't prove that because I tithe, my life is good. But I do feel, I resonate with what Pastor Naokimi said about peace, right? And I can worry with the best of them, and I feel like tithing is like a way to turn off material and financial worry. You just do it. And and also, Pastor Naokimi was talking about it sanctifies the rest of your income. I like to tithe kind of ahead. I hate doing things when I have to. And I hate being there, at some point and go, oh shoot, I still have to tithe. So I always try to think ahead for the next couple of weeks, how much do I need to tithe to be good till the end of the month or whatever. So that's kind of how I operate. And then I don't have to worry about it. And then whatever I have to pay, whatever my bank balance is, I've already tithed, so I can use the other money. And so just do it. That was one. And then there's, financial freedom even, a lot of people will talk about, give 10%, save 10, and live on the 80. And it's really, it's almost like your practical external mind will go, how can I have financial freedom by having less money? It looks like. But I think God is really good, and tithing is a spiritual habit. I have a lot of spiritual habits, and they're good for me. So let's see if there was anything else I wanted to say, because I know, and then, trust in the Lord. That's one of my favorite scriptures. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding in all your ways, which would include finances. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. And the practical things that I believe tithing is helping our family or helping my finances, I think it's things like finding the right used car for a decent price, or finding a contractor that does a good job and doesn't overcharge you. Like these things, you can't prove it, right? But I really believe that tithing gives God a foundation to protect and guide all my, material realities. So thank you.
Thank you, Aneva. Let's give her another hand for sharing. Yeah, you never know in what ways God blesses you until it becomes apparent later on, so thank you. And next, finally, a testimony we'll be hearing. He been a very consistent tither of the Clifton Family Church, but also represents a demographic of tithers. Some of you may or may not know, but more recently, and actually in the past few years, there's been businesses donating to support our movement as well. And so representing that, his own personal life, I'd like to welcome up Terry Hasegawa, Vice President of Ocean Providence.
Good morning. Naokimi-san gave great speech, and actually today's speech is a little longer than usually because he liked topic of tithing. Anyway, when we talk about the business, or just like a donation, I like to talk about in my former boss, Mr. Yashiro. When we started Ocean Providence small business, 2012. That time, we don't have any money, and it's really difficult, like a finance situation. But somehow, he had great determination to support. I think ACLC, that's how he started, try to make donations, small donation. I believe that time because Mr. Onishi was there, so somehow we like to support the ACLC, activity. So we start a small donation. And then, so each, we start opening a different location, and each location start, making some donation to local area too. I believe that 2019, when Mother came to the Providential Center, December, we made some donation, to the true mother. And then that time, I called not only Ocean Providence Seafood Wholesale, but I called to restaurant business people too, because I'm vice president of Ocean Providence, but also I'm a coordinator of Japanese restaurant. You might remember that we used to have a lot of Japanese Hana restaurant in Manhattan, right? But don't worry, we still have 12 Japanese restaurants throughout the United States. And these people constantly making donations still. And I brought, make check, I think at that time around, I believe 30,000 from Ocean Providence and the restaurant people, And they gave it to Crescentia. And I said, oh, please, pass to the headquarters. But maybe she didn't catch pass to headquarters. She said, oh, it's me? And I said, oh, no, Mother coming. This is the special donation of Mother. Then I realized, oh, our local, business, New York, Ocean Province, New York, actually located in Brooklyn. But most of the employee, our member, is belong to Clifton Church. Koga-san, Ishikawa-san, Tsuji-kun, Ichiji-kun, Nishinaga-san. Most people are from here, right? And I realized, oh, we're not making any donation yet to the Clifton Church from my company. So I asked Mr. Taguchi, we should start, making donation. Because our start of 2012, first stage is kind of passed to the now, company getting stable. So I think, we should, appreciate, give it back to the New Jersey. So we start making some donation to the New Jersey, 2019. Then what happened? And the COVID hit, the business so badly, 2020, 2021. But I believe, Tagu-san, all, Ocean Province, New York member, making strong donation to keep, a determination, keep, make donation to the New Jersey Church. And then somehow, I'm sure everybody, 2021, COVID 2 years, everybody was difficult, right? You might lost a job, or you might stay home, Our company too went to the, almost 30% to sales compared to the, previous year. And we are barely to almost close to the door. But somehow, God help us. And as Naokimi-san say, more you give, more you receive. It's true, I believe, because God protect us, And I have one more, some episode about Mr. Yashiro. When Mr. Yashiro, he likes to make money, right? Right? And he attended some workshop, how you can become a millionaire. So he said that, oh, Terry, I attended how to become a millionaire. And the lecturer, in the first things he said, he's showing many companies' logo. Microsoft or Facebook, blah, 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 blah. There are many millionaires out there, right? But he said, what's common? These CEOs common. Then he find out what is really common they do in practice. He said, they do tithing. And Mr. Yashiro was, what? This is my attending my workshop, because you don't need to come to attending workshop. Actually, you learn from church, right? He said, oh, so that's very funny, story. But I think tithing is the key, not only our church, but outside the people, everybody. People who become, good status, they practice a secret, key, it's tithing. And as a business people, I really want to, encourage my employee to do that too. And I know it's still a small company, but we try to support many different way. We do support Women's Federation, and when Minobu Sato-san doing Ocean Challenge Hudson River in time, we make donation. And Alaska right now, you're doing a lot of many second generation. Alaska Kojak, we're making tithing to them, Something related to the ocean is very important, especially, our business. And I continue to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Hasegawa-san. Let's give him another hand. Okay. Setting up the next part here, but yeah, recently I've been spending quite a bit of time with, before Dr. Young went to Australia, and we were talking about the membership track. Kind of what is the most important thing for members within our movement to have a very stable life of faith. And so basically it's how do we introduce guests to our community, and how can they grow to fully understand Heavenly Parents, true parents, the divine principle, irrespective of where the church goes, to have a direct connection with our true parents. And the first thing Dr. Young mentions is you need to have a stable life of faith is hundok habit. So that's reading the 8th grade textbooks, and he talks a lot about specifically starting with the 1-hour EDP, going all the way up to completion of the Pyonghwa Gyeong 10 times. And he says that if you develop a hundok habit, you will have a stable life of faith, because throughout your lifetime, you'll get to hear and understand what your parents have said, and for us to learn. You become an eternal student. And the second thing he mentioned was witnessing. When you learn, the most substantial way to substantialize your understanding of things is to witness, to share what you know. And that's why after the 1-hour hundok 100-time reading campaign he started, he was promoting witnessing. That's why we hear living testimonies on morning devotion. And the final thing he talked about was tithing. He said when you tithe, it really stabilizes your own life of faith. A lot of the struggles that many members have had is with the finances. And so in order to secure and protect you, that's why he talks a lot about why the Bible says, do not worry what to eat, where to sleep, what to wear, because God will provide, as long as you have this habit of tithing. And so I just like to share that, since Dr. Young's not here. I'm sure he'll talk about it a little bit more when he comes back from Australia. But now we have, I hope this loads up, we have a sort of slideshow. Naokimi mentioned something to challenge you, where to go next, maybe if you're already giving. And so here's just a quick slideshow to recognize all the donors. It's not names, just numbers. But basically we classified it into, I believe, 6 different categories. 6 different categories within our Clifton Family Church. At the base level you have contributor. And contributors is anyone given between like $1 to $39. So this is anyone in Sunday school, whatnot. Everyone, I was actually quite surprised. Eriko-san tabulates everything. I mean, if you have a child and they've ever given a donation to Sunday school, their name is there and the amount they've donated. And so everyone can be a part of this. A bronze level donor we've categorized as $40 to $199. And then we go up to silver, that's $200 to $499 a month. Gold is $500 to $999, and platinum, $1,000 to $4,999, and diamond is $5,000 plus. I don't believe we have diamonds just yet, but maybe someone we've blessed enough to sort of reach that level. And so just to show kind of the numbers, how we're doing as a community, this is what it looks like. So at the contributor level, we have 261 people currently contributing to support the Clifton Family Church. At the bronze level, we have 137 at the silver level, 84. When we go to gold, we have 16. When we get to platinum, it's 5, and diamond, currently at 0, but hopefully sometime next year we'll reach that goal. So right next to it, you see the goals that we've set for next year. So at this time, I'd like to challenge each of you just to think about where do you fall within the tiers of donating, supporting the Clifton Family Church, and maybe you can be the one to sort of add that +1 to the goals that we have. And so by next year, 2023, July, for a contributor, we want to up that to 500. So like I said, anybody can be a contributor, be it someone new, be your children, whatnot, anybody can do so. And so with this is not really 2.5 times, it's less than that, but we have a goal of 500 for contributors, for bronze, 300, for silver, 200, for gold, 40, for platinum, 12, and for diamond, 1. And so this is kind of where we want to go next year. This adds on to the goal we have. Right now, the average of the Clifton Family Church per month is around 40,000. 40,000 per month. This is July 2022. And we hope through your support and through the Johnson this community puts together, by next year, we can hit around $100,000. And all of this goes towards significantly supporting the ministry and our growth. And also considering that we are starting to look for and possibly even starting construction of a new family church, it'll go a long way towards supporting the growth of this community. So that is the challenge for you. Just recognize where you're at, and if you'd like to give more, maybe it's an extra $10 a month or $20 a month to hit the next level. Just think about it, and then we'll see how we do moving forward. So with that, just to close off, I'd like to call on Takino-san to offer a benediction prayer.
Everybody please stand up. In Japan, we have one quote is money must be flowing. Do not stop there, must be flowing under God. So, 金は天下の回り物. So, then if we flow in the money come to me, but not stuck to me, we have to give to others. So that is important, and we all want to, we hope, that we want to become the diamond contributors, the rich guys. Okay, please join me prayers. Be most loved Heavenly Parents and true parents, and Jesus, you woke me up, and you telling me who I am. You keep talk to us. We are son and daughter of God, and God is living in my heart. We are temple of God. Heavenly Parents, today, once again, I remind who I am. And I feel so good. You guide us like that. Not slave of visible things, but most precious things always God hiding, invisible. That's why every day we are living not only for material things centered, but how important the love, sincerity, and gratitude, and our attitude in daily life. Heavenly Parents, thank you for guiding us and teaching us every day. We truly want to become owner of Chonil-guk and responsible for peace world. I pray and offer these all brothers and sisters offering to you with gratitude heart. Pray my name, Atsushi Takino, Namiko Takino, Blessed Central Family, Adieu. Okay, please let's have a unison prayers. Adieu.
At this time, if you'd like to offer your tithe, the baskets, the boxes are up in the front, so feel free to come up to offer it as well. Thank you all for joining us for Sunday service today. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
Singing? Oh, Sarah?
사랑해